The hum of the spaceship's engines reverberated through the metal hull as Captain Jonathan Blake stood on the bridge of the UNS Explorer. They had been traveling through uncharted space for months, following a mysterious signal that hinted at intelligent life. Today, they finally arrived at the source, a lush, verdant planet orbiting a distant star. The crew's excitement was palpable. "Prepare for landing," Blake commanded, his voice steady. The anticipation in the air was thick as the crew rushed to their stations. The UNS Explorer descended through the planet's atmosphere, breaking through dense clouds to reveal a breathtaking landscape below. Rolling hills, vast forests, and shimmering bodies of water stretched out as far as the eye could see. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission," Ensign Maria Lopez reported from the communications console. "It's in a language we've never encountered." "Put it on screen," Blake ordered. The main screen flickered to life, displaying an alien figure. She had iridescent skin that seemed to change color with every movement, and her eyes glowed with a soft, inviting light. She spoke in a melodic language, her voice resonating through the bridge. Dr. Evelyn Carter, the team's xenobiologist, stepped forward. "Captain, this is incredible. Their language is complex, but it appears to be a form of tonal communication. We should try to respond." Blake nodded. "Go ahead, Doctor." Carter carefully crafted a response using the ship's advanced linguistic software. After a tense moment, the alien's expression changed to one of understanding, and she responded with what seemed to be a welcoming gesture. "We've been invited to land," Carter said, smiling. "Prepare the landing party," Blake instructed. "Let's make history." The landing party disembarked from the shuttle, stepping onto the soft, grassy terrain. The air was rich with unfamiliar scents, and the vibrant flora around them seemed to pulse with life. Captain Blake, Dr. Carter, and a small contingent of crew members walked toward a group of alien figures approaching them. The Tharnai, as they would soon learn the aliens were called, were even more striking up close. Their skin shimmered with a spectrum of colors, and their eyes, deep and expressive, conveyed a sense of ancient wisdom. The leader of the Tharnai stepped forward, her presence commanding yet graceful. To everyone's astonishment, the Tharnai females lifted their skirts, revealing intricate bioluminescent patterns on their bodies. The patterns danced and shifted, creating mesmerizing displays of light and color. Dr. Carter quickly realized this was a traditional greeting, meant to display their status and charms. "This is their way of welcoming us," Carter whispered to Blake. "We need to respond appropriately." Blake, always quick on his feet, gestured for the team to stand respectfully. He bowed slightly, mimicking the Tharnai's gesture as best as he could. The Tharnai leader smiled, her bioluminescent patterns swirling in what Carter interpreted as approval. "They seem pleased," Carter said, relief evident in her voice. The Tharnai leader spoke, her tone melodic and harmonious. Carter activated a portable translator, which struggled at first but soon began to pick up the nuances of the language. "Welcome, travelers," the translated voice finally said. "We are the Tharnai. We have been watching you and are pleased to meet in peace." Captain Blake stepped forward. "Thank you for your hospitality. We come in peace and seek to learn from you." The Tharnai leader nodded. "Come, there is much to share." The humans and Tharnai walked together toward a sprawling city nestled in the heart of a vast forest. The buildings, if they could be called that, were grown rather than built, their organic shapes blending seamlessly with the natural surroundings. Vines and flowers adorned the structures, and soft, glowing orbs provided illumination. Inside a grand hall, the delegation settled around a table made of a single, enormous piece of crystal. The Tharnai leader, whose name was revealed to be Leora, began explaining their society's intricate customs and traditions. Dr. Carter and the crew listened intently, fascinated by the alien culture. The Tharnai communicated through a complex combination of spoken language and the changing patterns on their skin. Each bioluminescent display carried meaning, adding depth and context to their words. Understanding their culture became crucial for the humans to build trust and establish a diplomatic relationship. "We have much to learn from each other," Leora said, her pattern shifting to a serene blue. "Our knowledge is vast, but we see that your kind has much potential. Let us share our wisdom." Over the next few days, the humans and Tharnai engaged in various cultural exchanges. The Tharnai demonstrated their advanced technology, which was deeply integrated with their environment. They showed the humans how they harnessed natural energy, healed with plant-based medicines, and communicated with the living world around them. In return, the humans shared their own achievements and knowledge. They demonstrated their technological innovations, from space travel to medical advancements. The Tharnai were particularly intrigued by human art and music, which evoked emotions and thoughts they had never experienced before. As the days turned into weeks, the bond between the humans and Tharnai grew stronger. Captain Blake and Dr. Carter worked closely with Leora and her council, learning the intricacies of their language and culture. The initial barriers of misunderstanding and caution slowly dissolved, replaced by mutual respect and curiosity. One evening, as the twin moons of the Tharnai planet rose in the sky, Captain Blake stood on a balcony overlooking the city. Leora joined him, her patterns glowing softly in the moonlight. "We have made great strides," Blake said, looking out at the serene landscape. "Yes, but there is still much to uncover," Leora replied. "Our histories are intertwined more than you know. There are secrets yet to be revealed." Blake turned to her, curiosity piqued. "What do you mean?" Leora's patterns shifted to a deep, mysterious hue. "Come with me. It is time you learn the true extent of our connection." Together, they descended into the depths of the Tharnai city, where ancient knowledge and hidden truths awaited them. Descending into the subterranean chambers of the Tharnai city, Captain Blake and Leora moved through dimly lit corridors lined with intricate carvings and glowing crystals. The air was cool and filled with the faint hum of energy. Leora led Blake to a vast chamber, its walls covered in bioluminescent patterns that seemed to tell a story. "This is the Hall of Origins," Leora explained. "Here, we preserve the history and knowledge of our people. These patterns recount the story of our ancestors and their encounters with other civilizations, including your own." Blake's eyes widened in surprise. "Our ancestors?" Leora nodded. "Yes, long ago, before your species had even begun to explore the stars, our ancestors visited your planet. They observed and in some ways influenced the development of early human societies. The bioluminescent patterns you see are our way of recording these ancient journeys." Dr. Carter, who had joined them along with a few other crew members, stepped forward, her eyes scanning the walls. "This is incredible. These patterns, they're like a historical record. We need to document this." As the humans began to study the walls, Leora activated a hidden mechanism. The chamber's floor opened, revealing a staircase leading further down. "There is more. Follow me." The group descended into an even deeper chamber, where they found a series of crystalline pods arranged in a circular pattern. Inside each pod was a piece of advanced technology, unlike anything the humans had ever seen. "These are the archives of innovation," Leora said. "Each pod contains knowledge and technology that our ancestors developed or acquired from other civilizations. It is our greatest treasure, and we now offer to share it with you." Blake and Carter exchanged astonished glances. "This could change everything," Blake said softly. "The technology here, it could advance humanity by centuries." "But it comes with a responsibility," Leora added. "Understanding and respecting our ways is crucial. This knowledge must be used wisely, for the benefit of all, not just a few." Following the map they had deciphered from the Tharnai patterns, the crew embarked on a journey through dense forests and treacherous terrain to reach the hidden archives. The landscape was both beautiful and perilous, with alien flora and fauna presenting both wonders and dangers. Their Tharnai guides, skilled in navigating the wilderness, led the way. Each member of the human crew was paired with a Tharnai counterpart, fostering deeper bonds and mutual learning. The journey was challenging, with narrow paths, hidden pitfalls, and occasional encounters with wild creatures. The Tharnai's deep understanding of their environment proved invaluable, their knowledge of plants and animals helping the humans avoid many dangers. One night, as they camped under the stars, Leora shared more about the Tharnai's history. "Our people have always been connected to the land. Our ancestors believed in harmony with nature and the universe. It is a philosophy that has guided us for millennia. Dr. Carter listened intently, her mind racing with possibilities. There's so much we can learn from each other. Your understanding of the natural world, combined with our technological advances, could lead to incredible breakthroughs. The next day they reached the hidden archives, a series of caverns concealed behind a waterfall. The entrance was guarded by ancient Tharnai symbols, which Leora carefully deactivated. Inside, the archives were breathtaking, an expansive network of tunnels filled with glowing crystals and ancient devices. As they explored, they found blueprints for advanced spaceships, medical technology that could cure diseases thought incurable, and energy sources that could solve Earth's power crises. The sheer volume and sophistication of the knowledge was overwhelming. "This is beyond anything we imagined," Blake said, awestruck. "But we need to understand how it all works. We can't just take it, we need to learn." Leora smiled. "And we are here to teach you. This is a partnership, Captain. Together, we will unlock these secrets." The humans and Tharnai spent weeks in the hidden archives, deciphering the ancient technology. The Tharnai's deep knowledge of their ancestors' inventions, combined with the human scientific expertise, led to rapid progress. Each discovery brought new excitement and possibilities. Dr. Carter focused on the medical technology, discovering devices that could heal wounds instantly and eradicate diseases at a cellular level. "This could revolutionize healthcare on Earth," she said, her eyes shining with hope. "Imagine curing cancer or regenerating lost limbs." Meanwhile, Captain Blake and the engineers studied the advanced spaceship designs. The Tharnai ships were capable of faster-than-light travel, using a form of energy manipulation previously unknown to humans. "If we can replicate this technology, it would open up the entire galaxy for exploration," Blake said, envisioning a new era of space travel. However, accessing this technology required understanding the Tharnai's intricate language and cultural nuances. The bioluminescent patterns on the walls held the key to unlocking many of the devices, each shift and color change conveying crucial information. One evening, while studying a particularly complex set of patterns, Blake turned to Leora. "Your people's knowledge is vast, but so is your wisdom. We must be careful with this power. It could be used for good or ill." Leora nodded, her patterns shifting to a thoughtful green. "That is why we share it with you, Captain. We see in your people a potential for greatness, but also for destruction. We hope that by sharing our wisdom, you will choose the path of harmony." As the humans continued their work, they couldn't help but notice the growing tensions within the Tharnai society. Not all were pleased with the humans' presence. Some feared that the technology, once shared, would be used irresponsibly. Captain Blake held a meeting with his crew. "We must earn their trust and show them we are worthy of this knowledge. Respect their culture, learn from them, and always remember the responsibility that comes with this power." The crew agreed, redoubling their efforts to understand and integrate the Tharnai wisdom. The partnership grew stronger, but the shadow of dissent loomed ever closer, threatening to disrupt their progress and the fragile alliance they had built. As the humans worked tirelessly to decipher the ancient Tharnai technology, tensions within the Tharnai society continued to rise. The faction opposed to the human alliance, led by the charismatic and fierce warrior Zevra, grew more vocal and aggressive. Zevra and his followers feared that sharing their advanced technology with humans would disrupt their world and lead to unforeseen consequences. One evening, as Captain Blake and Dr. Carter reviewed their progress in the archives, a loud explosion echoed through the caverns. The lights flickered, and dust rained down from the ceiling. Blake grabbed his communicator. "All teams report. This is Lieutenant Chen. We're under attack. Tharnai insurgents have breached the perimeter," came the urgent reply. Blake and Carter rushed to the surface, emerging into chaos. Zevra's warriors clashed with the Tharnai loyalists and the human security team. Energy weapons fired, and the air was filled with shouts and the acrid smell of burning vegetation. Blake spotted Zevra in the midst of the battle, directing his forces with ruthless efficiency. "We need to end this before it spirals out of control," he said, turning to Carter. We have to reach Leora. She can help us negotiate a ceasefire, Carter replied. Dodging blasts and taking cover behind the natural formations, Blake and Carter made their way to Leora's quarters. They found her tending to the wounded, her patterns flickering with stress and determination. Leora, we need your help, Blake said urgently. We need to stop this fighting before it's too late. Leora's eyes met Blake's, and she nodded. I will do what I can. Follow me. Leora led Blake and Carter to a high vantage point overlooking the battlefield on the Kourou Plains. She raised her hands, her patterns shifting to a brilliant, commanding gold. Her voice, amplified by hidden technology, echoed across the plains. Zevra, this madness must end. We are one people, united by our shared history and future. Fighting among ourselves will only bring ruin. Zevra, his patterns flashing with anger and defiance, replied from the battlefield. You have brought outsiders who threaten our way of life. They seek to take what is ours and use it for their gain. We will not stand by and let our heritage be corrupted. Blake stepped forward. We came in peace, seeking to learn and share knowledge. We do not wish to harm your people or your way of life. Let us find a way to coexist and benefit from each other's strengths. Zevra hesitated, but his followers continued their assault. The battle raged on, with both sides suffering heavy losses. Captain Blake realized that words alone would not be enough to end the conflict. He turned to his team. We need to find a way to turn the tide. We can't let this alliance fall apart. Drawing on their knowledge of Tharnai technology, the humans and their Tharnai allies devised a plan. They would use the advanced energy manipulation techniques they had discovered in the archives to create a defensive barrier, protecting the Loyalists and forcing Zevra's forces to reconsider their attack. As the humans and Tharnai worked together, the barrier slowly began to take shape. It was a shimmering, translucent dome that pulsed with energy, deflecting incoming attacks and providing a safe haven for the Loyalists. Seeing the barrier, Zevra's forces faltered. The humans and Loyalists' combined ingenuity and resourcefulness gave them pause. Zevra, realizing the futility of continued fighting, called for a temporary ceasefire. In the uneasy calm that followed, the humans and Tharnai Loyalists regrouped. Captain Blake and Leora met with Zevra to discuss terms for a lasting peace. However, as negotiations progressed, an unexpected betrayal was revealed. Lieutenant Marcus Hale, one of Blake's trusted officers, had been secretly working with Zevra, feeding him information and sabotaging the humans' efforts. Motivated by greed and the promise of power, Hale had put everyone at risk. The revelation sent shockwaves through the camp. Hale was quickly apprehended, but the damage had been done. The trust between the humans and Tharnai was deeply shaken. Zevra used the opportunity to renew his arguments against the humans, claiming that they could not be trusted. Captain Blake faced Hale, anger and disappointment etched on his face. Why, Marcus? Why betray us? Hale sneered. You don't understand, Captain. This technology is worth more than any alliance. With it, we could rule the stars. I was going to make sure it was used properly, not squandered on some idealistic partnership. Blake shook his head. You've endangered everything we've worked for. You've betrayed our mission, our crew, and our new allies. Hale was taken into custody, but the situation remained precarious. Blake and Leora knew they had to act quickly to salvage the alliance. They called for an emergency council, inviting representatives from all Tharnai factions and the human crew. In the Grand Council chamber, tensions were high. Zevra's followers eyed the humans with suspicion, while the Loyalists looked to Leora and Blake for leadership. Leora began the meeting with a solemn address. Today we face a great challenge. Betrayal has sown distrust among us, but we must not let it destroy what we have built. We have a choice, to continue fighting and tearing each other apart, or to come together, learn from our mistakes, and forge a path forward. Blake stood beside her. We came here seeking knowledge and friendship. Despite recent events, I still believe we can achieve that. We must find common ground and work together, not just for our own survival, but for the future of both our peoples. The council erupted in debate, with Zevra's followers arguing for isolation and the Loyalists advocating for continued cooperation. It was a tense and heated discussion, But slowly, voices of reason and compromise began to emerge. After hours of deliberation, a tentative agreement was reached. The humans would remain on the planet under strict supervision, continuing their research and cultural exchange with the Tharnai. In return, the Tharnai would share their knowledge, but with safeguards to ensure it was used responsibly. As the council adjourned, Captain Blake and Leora knew that their work was far from over. The alliance was fragile, but it held the promise of a brighter future. Together, they would rebuild trust and prove that unity was stronger than division. Determined to restore the alliance and build on the tentative agreement reached at the council, Captain Blake and Dr. Carter worked tirelessly to mend relations with the Tharnai. They held numerous meetings with Tharnai leaders, addressing concerns and finding ways to bridge cultural gaps. Their efforts began to bear fruit, as both sides started to see the value of cooperation. To further strengthen the alliance, they organized a grand ceremony in the heart of the Tharnai city. It was a celebration of unity, with humans and Tharnai showcasing their cultures through music, dance, and art. The Tharnai performed their mesmerizing bioluminescent displays, while the humans shared their music and stories. The highlight of the ceremony was a joint project, a garden that combined Tharnai botanical knowledge with human agricultural techniques. It symbolized the growth and potential of their partnership. As the last rays of the setting sun bathed the garden in a golden glow, Leora and Captain Blake planted a tree together, sealing their commitment to a shared future. The ceremony had a profound impact, easing tensions and fostering a sense of community. Both humans and Tharnai began to work together more harmoniously, sharing knowledge and learning from each other's strengths. The alliance, once fragile, started to solidify into a strong and resilient partnership. With the alliance between humans and Tharnai on firmer ground, Captain Blake and Leora turned their attention to uniting the remaining Tharnai factions. They traveled across the planet, meeting with various leaders and addressing their concerns. Each faction had its own unique traditions and fears, but they all shared a common desire for peace and prosperity. The key to unity lay in addressing the root causes of division. Blake and Leora organized a series of dialogues and workshops, where different factions could voice their grievances and propose solutions. These gatherings were often tense, but they also provided a platform for understanding and compromise. During one particularly challenging negotiation, a faction leader named Rielia, who had been a staunch opponent of the humans, stood up and spoke. "We fear losing our identity and our way of life. But I see now that isolation is not the answer. By embracing new ideas while holding on to our values, we can create a future where all Tharnai thrive." Her words resonated deeply with the other leaders. Slowly, the factions began to find common ground, agreeing to work together towards shared goals. The unification process was not without its setbacks, but the determination and commitment of both humans and Tharnai leaders kept the momentum going. As the factions united, they developed a comprehensive plan for integrating the advanced technology discovered in the archives. This plan included strict guidelines to ensure the technology was used ethically and sustainably, reflecting the Tharnai's deep respect for their environment. With peace achieved and knowledge shared, the time came for the humans to depart. Their mission had been a success beyond their wildest dreams, and the alliance they had forged with the Tharnai was a testament to the power of understanding and cooperation. The farewell was emotional. The Tharnai, who had initially greeted the humans with caution and skepticism, now saw them as friends and allies. The Grand Plaza was filled with Tharnai and humans, all gathered to bid each other farewell. Leora stepped forward, her patterns glowing in a warm, golden hue. "Captain Blake, Dr. Carter, and all the members of the UNS Explorer, you have shown us the strength of unity and the beauty of shared knowledge. Our bond will endure, and we will continue to learn from each other. Farewell, friends." Captain Blake, moved by the sentiment, replied, "Thank you, Leora, and thank you to all the Tharnai. This is not the end, but the beginning of a long and prosperous journey together. We will return, and our partnership will grow even stronger." As the humans prepared to board their shuttle, The Tharnai performed their traditional greeting one last time, lifting their skirts to reveal the bioluminescent patterns that had become a symbol of their connection. The patterns danced in a display of unity and hope, a fitting tribute to the journey they had undertaken together. The UNS Explorer lifted off, ascending through the atmosphere and breaking free of the planet's gravity. Captain Blake stood on the bridge, watching as the planet grew smaller in the viewport. "Set course for Earth," he commanded. "We have much to share." As the ship entered warp speed, the crew reflected on their journey. They had discovered a new civilization, faced and overcome immense challenges, and forged an alliance that would benefit both species for generations to come. The Tharnai's wisdom and advanced technology would help humanity reach new heights, while the Tharnai themselves would gain new perspectives and ideas from their human allies. Captain Blake looked out into the vastness of space, a sense of accomplishment and hope filling his heart. With newfound knowledge and a powerful alliance, humanity was ready to face the challenges of the universe, united and stronger than ever. The adventure was far from over, but whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. As the UNS Explorer journeyed back to Earth, the crew was abuzz with anticipation and excitement. The discoveries and experiences from their time with the Tharnai had given them a renewed sense of purpose. The advanced technology and knowledge they were bringing back had the potential to revolutionize human society. Captain Blake stood in the observation deck, gazing at the stars. Dr. Carter joined him, her expression a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. "Hard to believe it's over, isn't it?" she said. Blake nodded. "In a way, it's just beginning. We've forged an alliance that could change the course of history. Now we have to ensure that this knowledge is used wisely." As they neared Earth, the crew prepared detailed reports and presentations to share with the world. The ship's scientists worked tirelessly to catalog and analyze the data they had gathered. Dr. Carter's medical team reviewed the advanced healing techniques they had learned, envisioning a future where diseases and injuries could be treated more effectively. When the UNS Explorer finally entered Earth's orbit, they were greeted as heroes. A global broadcast was set up to share their findings, and the world watched in awe as Captain Blake, Dr. Carter, and the rest of the crew recounted their journey and the incredible partnership they had formed with the Tharnai. Standing before a packed audience at the United Nations, Blake began his address. "Today we stand at the dawn of a new era. Our mission to explore the unknown has brought us into contact with a civilization far older and more advanced than our own. The Tharnai have shared with us their wisdom, technology, and most importantly, their friendship. It is now our duty to honor this gift and use it to build a better future for all humanity." The presentation continued with Dr. Carter explaining the medical breakthroughs and engineers describing the advanced energy systems and spacecraft designs. Each revelation was met with gasps and applause, the potential implications staggering. Following the presentation, world leaders convened to discuss the best way to integrate the new technology and knowledge into society. It was decided that international teams would be formed, consisting of scientists, engineers, and cultural ambassadors, to ensure that the integration was done responsibly and ethically. As these initiatives began to take shape, the crew of the UNS Explorer took on new roles as advisors and consultants, guiding the process and ensuring that the partnership with the Tharnai remained strong. Regular communications were established with the Tharnai, facilitating ongoing cultural exchange and collaboration. Months passed, and the impact of the Tharnai knowledge became evident. Energy shortages became a thing of the past as new power sources were developed. Medical advancements led to the eradication of several diseases, and space travel saw unprecedented advancements, with new ships being designed based on Tharnai blueprints. Captain Blake, now a celebrated figure, continued to advocate for unity and cooperation. He frequently spoke at international forums, emphasizing the importance of using their newfound power for the greater good. "We have been given a rare opportunity," he would say. "We must ensure that we use it to uplift all of humanity and protect our planet." In one of his speeches, he announced plans for a joint human-Tharnai space mission, aimed at exploring further into the galaxy and discovering other civilizations. This mission, he explained, would be a testament to what they could achieve when they worked together. As the UNS Explorer prepared for its next voyage, the crew reflected on their journey. They had gone into the unknown, faced countless challenges, and returned with the keys to a brighter future. But their story was far from over. The universe was vast, and there were many more discoveries to be made and alliances to be forged. Captain Blake stood on the bridge of the newly upgraded Explorer, looking out at the stars with a sense of purpose. "Set course for the outer rim," he commanded. "Let's see what new horizons await us." And with that, the ship leapt into the unknown once more, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of two civilizations united in their quest for knowledge and peace.